Good afternoon, everybody. This afternoon, we are going to talk about the dashboard features. Now, the dashboard can be used by the staff members to search or look for certain things, which we've made a little bit easier, but it can also be used by the managers or owners if they want to get a little bit of a bird's eye view of what's happening in their business. Now, the dashboard feature is also useful in the Plus as well as the Pro level for sales, cost of sales, any jobs quotes, purchasing, financial. So we have quite a few different tabs, and we're going to be focusing on showing you how to get certain information from this dashboard in terms of what you would like to see or view. Right, so I'm going to start us off. You click on the Oversight tab, and then right on the left hand side you will see the dashboard. You can just click on that. Now for me, you'll see a whole bunch of icons here that you might not see on the Plus level, but that's because I've logged on as a Pro user. You can just bear with me because everything that I'm going to show you here you will have on the Plus level unless I specify otherwise. Alright, so the dashboard, like I said, is basically there to give you a bird's eye view with information of what's going on in the shop based on the information that is read into the Veculum system. So for us on this webinar, I'm going to just change the dates for us here because I'm working with a demo data set. So let's change this up a little bit so I can see a bit more. So on the summary page of the dashboard, it gives you quite a few options of things you can look at, like the RFCs not collected, jobs overdue, comeback job cards, etc. Now, all of these little pink blocks is called widgets in software terms. So, for example, the one thing I do want to show you on the summary page, if you click on the jobs overdue widget, if I click on that one, for example, it will open up the jobs in progress window for you. So to every widget that is giving you a figure or a financial figure to show you how many records is related to that specific widget or what the amount is that it's relating to, if you click on the widget, it will open up the relevant detail for that information. So the job cards work in progress. If you remember, we clicked on the jobs overview widget. So now you'll be able to see all the jobs that have been overdue for some time and is currently still overdue based on the completion dates. So instead of going to the jobs in progress and searching through by making use of all the show icons that we've given you, you can actually just go to your dashboard and get a quick view of it. So the jobs overdue will then usually be checked by someone in the admin department to sort of figure out what's going on, what's the delay with the job card, have they not ordered the parts, are you still waiting for the parts to arrive, whatever the case might be for the job not being completed on the date that was set as the completion date. Okay. I'm not going to spend too much time here because everything that you see here is also in the different separated tabs that you see at the top here. So if I go over to the quotes tab, if I click on quotes, I want to go through 2 or 3 things with you on this tab. And the first thing I want to do is to take a look at the quotes finalized. All right, so if you click on the quotes finalized, now this is quite useful because as the admin personnel, you want to see which quotes have been finalized, but they might not have been approved yet, or they might have been approved and it was just the steps were just not followed on the system. So whatever the case might be, it gives you a little bit more information and relatively quicker than again going into the quotes window and making use of your show icons to select what you want to view. So by clicking on that, we can see, all right, there's 3 quotes that's been finalized, and then you can go and follow up to figure out, has the client not come back to you? Did the insurance not get back to you? Whatever the case might be. If it was a manual quote, obviously you'll be waiting for approval from the customer or the client. And then if it is an insurance quote and you make use of the Auditex imports, then usually those will import as finalized and approved already. But if you make changes, it will take the record back to finalized stage. So you might have to check on that and why that was done as well. So just to give you a little bit of information there. All right. The tow-ins not quoted. So I'm going to look at this one specifically. Now, if you're making use of the quote requests, we'll get to that on a different webinar, but if you click on the tow-ins not quoted, now when the guys or whoever comes in with the towing vehicle, bringing in a vehicle to the panel beating shop, then the towing record is created on the either on the GRV side or on the plus level by the towing records. So you can see here that there's 3 towing records here that hasn't been quoted. Now, as soon as you do create the quote and you put in the registration number, it does pick up that registration and it will ask you if you would like to action this towing record, link it to the quote basically, and then action that as being quoted already. So you might want to take a look at that as well, because these are all vehicles that will be sitting in the panel shop, but no quotes have been created for them. So again, it's something that you can follow up on. All right, then you also have your total quotes not finalized. If we click on that one, then you'll be able to see which quotes are still open. So you might still need part prices, or maybe you created the quote but it wasn't completed yet. You can also go back and view that and then edit the quote. So lots of different information of things you can view, and as we know, it gets so busy for not just the ladies, but also the guys who work in the admin department doing the quotes and the jobs and everything like that, that, you know, you start a quotation, the phone rings, you quickly save it, and you carry on doing something else. So this is just an easier way for you to come back and sort of just pick up the pieces of where you left off. Okay, so if I click on the jobs tab on the top section here, we are going to look at, also you see there's quite a lot of different widgets here that you can go and view and look at. We've done the jobs overdue, just to give you an idea of what's happening here. So the workshop capacity, which you can view as a 10-year, is the amount of bays that you've entered when we did the setup for the system. So however many bays you have in your panel beating shop, that's the amount that's going to appear there. Now, because we have 15 jobs currently in the workshop, and these could all be in different stages. So it could be a job that you just started, could be overdue, could be ready for invoicing. But remember, unless or up until such time when you invoice the job, it will still be lying in the jobs in progress window. So because there's 15 jobs lying here, it will then tell you that your workshop utilization is currently at 150%. So just to show you what that means. Your comeback job cards, obviously if you have a comeback job card that you've done or created, this will be listed here. This is still a pending comeback job card, so you're still waiting for the vehicle to come in. It's just an example of the information that I will be giving you. Okay, the ones I want to focus on are, for example, the jobs awaiting costing. If we click on that one, so you will get to know these ones with a little yellow dollar sign on the left hand side. So if the job has been completed, for example, you've ordered, received all the parts, you've marked them as received, and you still need to do the costing for that if it's an insurance job, then it will be listed as such, and then you can see all the ones that you still need to do. So it's just an easier and a quicker way again to view that. The jobs pending, this is quite an important and nice one to view, because a lot of the times you have a few jobs of you creating the job card, but the vehicle hasn't arrived yet. So every day would be a good time for you to go and view the pending jobs to see, are you expecting the vehicle to come in today or in the near future? Contact the client, etc., and just make sure the arrangements for that vehicle stay up to date. Okay. The jobs not invoiced, if we click on that one, you'll see there's 5 there. Now these will include the job costing ones I showed you earlier, these 2, and then also the ones that are marked to be invoiced. So that basically means you've marked it as costed already and they are ready to be invoiced. So all 5 of these jobs are ready to move out of your jobs in progress window as soon as you're done with those costings, and then you create the invoice. So this is also good to keep an eye out for, especially from an accounting point of view, to make sure to invoice these jobs in the period that they happen, or where you will be receiving the income or generating the income. Okay, so those are the ones I wanted to focus on today, but you're welcome to go and view any and all of these on your own time. Now on the purchasing tab, if you are on the plus level, you'll only see the parts you haven't ordered yet. So I'm going to move this widget here for us. So if you're on the plus level, you'll only see this one. The rest will not be available for you to view. Now on the pro level, as you can see, you have quite a few more. So you guys can just bear with me if you are on the plus level. I am going to go through some of them for you. So let's focus on the one that you all have, which is the job parts not ordered. Now to view these, if you click on the widget there, it will show you all the parts for each and every job that you still haven't ordered. Now, obviously, if you've created the job and the car is still not in the workshop, meaning it's a pending job, it's a good idea to order the parts, and then before the car arrives, the parts have arrived and you can then start working on the vehicle. Might not always be the case, we understand, but if the car is currently there as well, especially you need to make sure that the parts are ordered and you can start working on the vehicle and there's no delay. So the follow-up on the parts that needs to be ordered is also quite important. And this goes from plus level and pro level as well. All right, so for the pro guys, the parts ordered but not received will be on the same window. If I click on that, on the job part status sheet. So for the pro guys, you'll see the same information basically, but you'll be able to see the orders that you've created, which you're still waiting for the parts to arrive. You haven't booked them in on the GRV yet. Okay, and then the last one I want to show for the pro guys are the RFCs not collected, just to focus on that one. So if you click on that one, it will show you all the RFCs that you've created on the system, but you're still waiting for the suppliers to come and collect. Now, these are good to keep track of because you don't want any parts to be lying in your store, not following up with the supplier, and those actually become a dead loss if you reach a point where they know either no longer returnable or the time has passed for you to send them back. So it's a good idea to keep an eye out for the RFCs that need to be collected. All right, and then you have quite a few more. You have the RFCs not collected, the amount value for that. You have your consumable stock on hand value, etc. So I'm not going to focus too much on that because our viewers today is actually also mostly plus clients. So I'm going to move on from that. Right, on the financial one, again, if you're on the plus level, this is the only one. I'm going to move it up. You'll be able to see the sales ex VAT. This is the only one you'll be able to see on the plus level, but on the pro level, you'll have the rest as well. So let's focus on the sales one. On the financial tab, if you click on the sales ex VAT, it will give you a little bit of a breakdown while we're waiting for that to open. It will give you a breakdown of the sales that you've made for the specific period that you've chosen. So whether it's last month or for the last quarter or period, whichever period you choose to view, then it will bring up the information for that. So you'll have parts sales, labor sales, paint, if there's any salvage or towing, and then your total sales at the bottom, and just to show you that this figure and this figure will always match. Now at the bottom it gives you a little bit of a description of how we get to that figure, so you're welcome to read through that just to make sense of how we get to the amount here. And then on the right hand side you'll also be able to see the percentage of sales which relates to, for example, the labor that was done, the paint, the parts, etc. What percentage of the total sales that entails. If you click on the ledger button here, it will bring up the detail of the specific amount or figure that we give you. Again, you'll see that that figure and that figure will match. This is just a round off, and it will show you all the detailed information for what you have here as a summary. Okay. So for the plus ladies or guys, that's what we can view on the plus level. But for the pro guys, you can also see the cost of sales ex VAT. Now, if you click on the cost of sales, this will open up your ledger postings for you of everything you've done in that specific period. And if I move this down, again, you'll see the 12,794 and you'll see the 12,793.67 rounded off amount, obviously on your dashboard. So this will be all the purchases or cost of sales entries that will be listed and summarized on the dashboard. Right, your sales data not exported just means that you haven't exported it to your accounting system yet. Same with the purchases. And then you also can view your consumables purchased as a pro user. So if I click on that, you'll be able to see all the consumables that you've purchased for a specific period. All right, so there's not too much else to the dashboard. It's quite a useful feature to use. As you can see, there's a lot of pros to using the dashboard as opposed to going to the window, making use of the show icon, searching through the information and using the filters. Even though those are nice to use in different circumstances, if you want to quickly do something or you want to take 2 minutes in the morning, just view the jobs that are pending, contact the clients, etc., whatever your routine might be, then the dashboard will be a little bit of better use for you. So that's everything that I wanted to say. I'm going to unmute all of you from an organizer point of view so that if you have any questions, you are welcome to speak to me. So I've unmuted everybody. Does anybody have any questions or anything they'd like to add or say?
Ek is reg, Jen.
Dankie, Tanya. Jeff,
Ek's reg, dankie.
Okay. Jeff, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I thought I'd just add that obviously the data needs to be entered in accurately. So it's really helpful if you need to change your order dates, expected order dates, or the job check-in dates, those kind of things. So if you're wanting to see which jobs are expected today and those dates are inaccurate, then the data gets meaningless. So if guys if you are contacting the clients or aware of what changes are happening, all you do is you just double click on that expected check-in date and you just change it there and then. It literally takes 2 seconds, but it really helps the whole, kind of the whole picture if your date is entered incorrectly. Yeah, so I just thought I'd comment on that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jeff. That's a helpful point for everybody, I think. Ladies, anybody else? Any questions? No. Okay, then I'm going to end off for today. Thank you very much for joining. We hope to see you again in 2 weeks. We have a webinar every 2 weeks, hopefully, unless we will let you know otherwise. You're welcome to join us. If you have any issues joining us, then please let us know. And then also we will be posting the link on the YouTube, so we'll send those out on email as well for everybody. Thank you very much for joining. See you again soon.